All right, in the meantime, the appointment of Ola Olukoyede as the chairman of the EFCC seems to have triggered public debate on the qualification of any chairman of the commission as provided by the Establishing Act. A part of the public, citing Section 2 of the EFCC Act, holds that the appointment is unlawful and illegal. Daniel Bola, a lawyer and former spokesman of the PDP, pointed out that the Act provides that for anyone to qualify as the chairman of the EFCC, the person must be a serving or retired member of any security or law enforcement agency. Such persons must have at least 15 years cognate experience. Now, this view is supported by some lawyers. Now, on the other hand of the debate are those who consider the EFCC as the law enforcement agency. They argue that having served as the chief of staff to a former chairman and also secretary to the commission, positions considered high enough, Mr. Olukoyede is qualified to be appointed the chairman of the commission. The missing point in this argument is what is the rank of the chief of staff or the secretary to the commission. Now, this debate may not end soon. Now, to take this conversation a bit further, we're joined by public affairs analyst Achike Chude. Good afternoon, Achike. Thank you so much for joining us on News Central.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
All right, so let's begin from the top. We're told that the former chairman of the EFCC, Abdulrasheed Bawa's resignation made way for the appointment of the new boss for the Anti-Graft Commission. Now, how does it look in the eyes of the law that Mr. Bawa resigned while in custody of the DSS? Does it have any correlation at all?
Of course it does. I mean, it's not as if he has been in detention, one would say illegally, because he had stayed longer than the law stipulates that he should stay. And so there was a violation of his right as a Nigerian citizen. And so when under that kind of situation, any action by him, especially an action that leading to his resignation, can be said to be an action that was obtained under duress. And that in itself makes it a bit unpalatable and unwholesome. So in a way, one would describe his resignation as suspicious and as something that was induced, against his will. And so it becomes a bit contentious. Obviously, it's not the right kind of, and that's why people are looking at his resignation with a lot of suspicion.
All right, so now let's talk about the ongoing debate on the appointment of the new EFCC chairman. Now, on one hand, are those who say the appointment is unlawful because Section 2, subsection 1 of the EFCC Act stipulates that the chairman of the commission must be a member of a law enforcement agency with at least 15 years cognitive experience. Now, on the flip side, are those who say the EFCC is a law enforcement agency and so working there takes care of that particular provision. Now, what do you have to say in all of this?
Well, I mean, if that is the case, they would seem to have to be making sense. It's a law enforcement agency, all right. We cannot deny that, and he's a member of the EFCC and has been for quite some time. But I'm not exactly sure that he has served 15 years at the EFCC. But as to whether the EFCC is a law enforcement agency, it is absolutely that. Though if you also look at the pattern of appointments in the EFCC, they have always tended to concentrate on serving, or retired, police or police officers. Those are the people that have been appointed as head of the EFCC. So there's a bit of a contention, but like I said, he's obviously a member of a law enforcement agency, and that is the EFCC. And so from that perspective, perhaps the government might be right.
All right, Achike, now taking a look at the pattern of how the previous chairman, left the EFCC office, what are your thoughts about the tasks before Mr. Olukoyede if he settles in as chairman of the commission? Does he have his work cut out for him?
Obviously, it does. It does, because the greatest danger or the greatest obstacle to his ability to discharge his duty efficiently will be the people that appointed him. And that is the political class, in this case, represented by the president of the country. The politicians have not shown any reasonable disdain or contempt for corruption in this country. They are the ones, I mean, if we are talking about official corruption that has led us to where we are today, you talk about the politicians and the activities of civil servants. They are the primary promoters of corruption and practitioners of corruption in the country. And the president, I mean, the president himself is a politician. And so I do not see, and of course we know, contrary, you see, when some of these bosses of these agencies are appointed, first of all, we have the impression that these agencies are independent. So even when you add independent to it, it doesn't imbue it with independence, like the Independent National Electoral Commission, and the EFCC and the ICPC and the rest. The reality is that the show is being run by the politicians. They determine who gets investigated and who is let free. And that's why over the years from 1999 to date, one word that has described the activities of the EFCC has been that of selective, or two words, selective, punishments, selective persecution and selective prosecution. Because it is believed that the friends of the government of the day, or those who have found favor with those who are running the government, are the ones that are kept out of problems with the EFCC, regardless of what they are accused of. And then so you have a situation where, this government, in terms of the appointment of ministers, has been characterized with a lot of controversies, because over 40% of the people who have been appointed as ministers by the president are people who have had one case of corruption leveled against them by the EFCC. And so you have an EFCC that is coming in today that has the fights of a lot of these people that are power brokers in the country today, ministers essentially. And so how do you expect the EFCC to move? They are not going to do anything. They are not going to be able to achieve anything meaningful when it comes to prosecution of political corruption. If that is not going to happen, perhaps they can go after the 419ers, those committing international, maybe financial crimes that are not related to the political class. They can have some measure of success at that level, but at the level of prosecuting the politicians, they are the ones running the show. They are the ones calling the shots. And so I don't expect that the EFCC chairman will have the guts to take on a power broker or somebody that has the eyes and the ears of the president, and you want to investigate such a person. It's not going to happen.
Thank you so much, Achike Chude, for your insight on this particular topic. Thank you for your time as well.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you.